Okay, so today we are diving into a topic that seems like it's everywhere you look these days,
Mm,
and that is intermittent fasting. I mean, seriously, it's in every health magazine, every wellness podcast.
yeah.
Even my aunt started tweeting about it.
Oh, wow.
But what's the real deal beyond the hype?
Right, right. Well, it definitely has captured the public imagination, I'd say that. And I think the important thing to remember is that intermittent fasting, it's not really a diet in the traditional sense. It's not so
Mm.
much about what you eat, but more about when you eat. So it's more like setting specific time windows for your
Okay,
meals.
so like a schedule for your metabolism, basically.
Exactly, exactly.
Now, the research that we dug into for this deep dive mentioned the 16/8 method. Can you break that down for us?
Sure, yeah. The 16/8 method, it's probably the most well-known and widely practiced method, and it's pretty straightforward, really. You have an 8-hour window during the day where you're allowed to eat, and then you fast for the remaining 16 hours.
Okay,
So, for example, you might eat all of your meals between, say, noon and 8 p.m., and then you wouldn't eat anything again until noon the next day.
gotcha.
And one of the main reasons people are drawn to intermittent fasting is because this pattern, having these restricted eating windows, it can actually lead to a natural reduction in calorie intake for a lot of people.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
But it's not just about weight management, which is what a lot of people, I think, initially associate it with.
Right, there's more to it than that.
Yeah, yeah. The research that we looked at, it also highlights some really interesting potential benefits for metabolic health.
Okay. For example, there are studies that suggest that intermittent fasting could potentially have a really positive impact on blood sugar regulation
Okay.
and also insulin sensitivity,
Oh, wow.
which are, both super important for preventing things like type 2 diabetes.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's huge. And actually, speaking of things that are good for you, what about this BDNF protein that kept popping up in the research?
Right.
That's the brain power booster, right?
Yeah. BDNF.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's a protein, and it's essential for the growth of new brain cells, and it also plays a role in learning and memory.
Wow.
And some studies have shown that intermittent fasting may actually increase BDNF production in the brain.
Okay, this is all sounding pretty amazing, but I have a feeling it can't all be sunshine and rainbows.
What about the downsides? The research did mention some potential side effects, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's not a magic bullet by any means.
Uh-huh.
And like any kind of lifestyle change, it's important to approach intermittent fasting with some caution and to listen to your body.
Right.
Especially in the beginning when you're first starting out, it's really common to experience some side effects like fatigue, for example,
Yeah.
or increased hunger. Those really strong feed me now
Oh,
feelings.
yeah.
Some people even get a little irritable.
Oh, I can relate to that one for sure. I'm definitely not a fun texting partner when I'm hungry.
Right, exactly. So it's definitely not for everyone.
So it's not a magic bullet,
No.
and it sounds like it's not a one-size-fits-all approach either.
Exactly. And, 16/8, that's just one method. Right.
There are others, like the 5.2 method, where you drastically restrict your calories for 2 days out of the week and then eat normally the other 5 days.
Okay.
But the important thing, really, is to do your research and to find an approach that feels sustainable and that works for you and your lifestyle.
This has been a really interesting deep dive.
Yeah.
So to wrap it up for our listeners today, it sounds like intermittent fasting, it's not just about what you eat, but when you eat.
Yeah.
And while it's not a magic solution for everyone, it could have some major benefits from weight management to metabolic health and even boosting your brain power.
Right.
Amazing. Yeah. And if this has piqued your interest, I'd encourage you to do some more digging into the different methods of intermittent fasting, see if one of them might be a good fit for you. And as always, before making any major changes to your diet, talk to your doctor or a registered dietitian just to make sure it's safe for you.
Great advice.